In this speech, I'm going to be going over the history of marzipan, as well as its cultural significance and why it continues to be enjoyed as a snack and treat centuries after its original invention. So, the origins of marzipan are as complex as its flavors. Unlike many famous treats, which can be easily traced to a specific point of origin or even inventor, the birthplace of marzipan is unknown. Similarly, even the origins of the name marzipan are mysterious. Although we know the word in its current form is derived from German, many historians trace the etymology of the word back to the Arab word "malthaban," while others contend that it originates from the Roman term "marcius panis," meaning March bread, or from the name of the Persian city of Martaban, famed for its glassworks. Regardless of the true etymology of the word, historians and scholars alike all agree that marzipan was likely introduced to Europeans by Middle Eastern traders, either the Moors of Al-Andalus or by the Ottomans of modern-day Turkey. These traders blended the ingredients of ground almonds, sugar, and water into a flavorful paste which, when hardened, was sold as a snack. Sometimes things like egg whites were added, or in Turkey, they added rose water for flavor as well as aroma. But at its core, marzipan became a simple treat made of ground almonds, sugar, and water. This treat was renowned for its simplicity, first of all, but also its versatility, and it quickly grew in popularity around the world, but most notably in Europe, where it was eaten by itself as a snack, or it was added to other culinary dishes in order to enhance them, such as using it as a paste to coat cakes, a filling for chocolates, pastries, and breads. It was even sometimes used as an ice cream topping. Most commonly, however, marzipan became used as an edible art form. So, because of its Play-Doh-like consistency, it was able to be molded into various shapes and forms. So it became sort of an edible piece of art in many places around Europe, especially Italy. In Italy, specifically in Sicily, confectioners would shape marzipan paste into realistic looking imitations of fruits, flowers, and animals. And you can still see this today if you look at travel videos or videos of Sicilian markets, where you see both big and small marzipan fruits such as pears, bananas, apples, mangoes, everything. In Toledo, Spain, marzipan became a Christmas delicacy, which we also still see today in many countries in Europe. And in the cities of the Hanseatic League on the north coast of Germany and also in the Baltic states, it became an art form, most notably in the German city of Lübeck, which gained reputation due to its large markets full of marzipan art. It gained their reputation as the marzipan capital of the world and still maintains that reputation to this day. Patrons of shops like Niederegger's Marzipan in Lübeck, Santo Tome in Toledo, and Panacea Dolceria in Sicily didn't just regard marzipan as a snack. To them, it was an art form, and there were even artisans that specialized just in marzipan artwork that would be hired by the shops in order to sell treats or just sell it as art. Marzipan was used to create hyper-realistic depictions of different things, such as everyday life. As we mentioned, fruits, but not only simple things like fruits, but hyper-realistic models of buildings were made from marzipan. There were figurines made from marzipan. They even made nativity sets and wedding gifts out of marzipan. And then consumption of marzipan, as a result, became not only just something that you'd have as a snack, but it became an important part of European culture, especially in cities like Lübeck, where it was such a big part of the local economy and culture. It became to symbolize good luck. So many people would give little marzipan figurines or marzipan trinkets to friends and family members as a symbol of good luck before maybe they went on a trip or they went off to college or maybe for their birthday, things like that, as well as around Christmas time. In literature, writers used marzipan as a trope. So Hans Christian Andersen, the famous Danish mythology writer and folklore writer, used it as a metaphor for indulgence and fantasy, just as artisans could craft marzipan into different figurines. The snack itself became associated with creativity, with the fantastical. But most importantly, it became synonymous with the Christmas season. And we still see that even today, where around marzipan, stores will sell, around Christmas, stores will sell marzipan snacks, specifically in Germany. Not only the marzipan figurines or the marzipan paste itself, but also as part of chocolates, as part of German Christmas bread, which is become a cultural staple in Germany and other parts of Europe. And it's become a continued part of European culture. So marzipan is more than a food. It's basically a synthesis, an edible form of art, tradition, culture, and food. So whether you're biting into a marzipan fruit in Sicily that you might have got from a local artisan, you're eating chocolate, marzipan-filled chocolate in Germany, or you're going to Aldi here in America and buying a piece of German Christmas bread and enjoying that, you're participating in a tradition that's been around for centuries, perhaps even longer. And you're continuing that tradition and that synthesis of basically artwork, culture, and food. And to me, that's what makes marzipan so special. And not only special, but interesting as a topic to delve into and something to learn more about. Because to me, it's very, you know, interesting and kind of amazing that something so simple, just almonds, sugar, and water, can mean so much and come to be so characteristic and so representative of so many different people and cultures.